Yeah.
T1.
That is just below C7, so it's right here.
T3.
It's down 2, so it's right here.
T7.
That's in line with the inferior border of the scapula, which is right here. So it'd be right here.
Supraspinous ligament.
That goes in between the spinous processes all the way down.
Costovertebral junction.
It's where the ribs articulate with the spine, which you can't really palpate. It would be in here.
Trapezius.
That goes up here, goes out here, goes down, creates a triangle.
Paravertebral muscles.
Those go on either side. The spine right here.
Scapular muscles.
You can feel them all around the scapula. Right in here.
Spine. L3. Wait, spinous process. Yeah, my bad. I guess L3. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. Well, your PSISs are here, so they'd be. Oh no, they'd be down further. Your dimples are here, so they'd be 5, 4. L3 would be right here.
L4.
L4 would be below.
L5.
That'd be down further.
Step off deformity.
They're common between L4 and L5 and L5 and S1, but my patient doesn't seem to have one.
Paravertebral muscles.
Those again go down here.
My bad. Median sacral crest.
That it goes down below the S's, so it's like right in here.
PSIS.
Those are the little dimples right in here.
Iliac crest.
Those go out to the sides. Those are the hip bones right in here.
Gluteus maximus.
It's the big butt muscle right there.
Gluteus medius.
It's more lateral right in here.
Ischial tuberosity.
That's your butt bone right in there.
Greater trochanter.
That is on the side. It's this bone right here.
Sciatic nerve.
That goes in between the ischial tuberosity and the greater trochanter, so it runs in through here. Okay, so now I'll have my patient do some active range of motion. So I'll have her get off the table and stand. So the first thing I'm going to do is have her do flexion. So I'm going to have her tuck her chin and bring herself down so she touches her toes. And now I'm going to do extension, so she's going to go back as far as she can. Now while she's here, I'm going to have her do lateral bending, so she's going to try and bring her hands to her knee, sideways. Okay, now I'm going to have her sit in a chair for rotation. So I'm going to have her turn as far as she can to each side. Okay, now while she's here, I'm going to do some goniometry. So it'll be over her head in line with the acromia process. And now I'm going to have her go to one side. Can I have you hold this for a second? And that is about 50. So I do that bilaterally on both sides and it should be equal. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to have her stand up and I'm going to do test for lateral bending. So this is going to be near the PSIS. It's going to be over the stationary arm is going to be over the medial sacral crest, and then this should be in line with C7 all the way up there. And now I'm going to have you bend to the side. Which that is about 20, and I'd compare that bilaterally, and it should be equal. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do look at extension and flexion. So I'm going to find C7 and I'll go all the way down to S1, which it looks like it's about 23. And now I'm going to have her go bend over for flexion, which that should lengthen. And now it is at 29, and I'm gonna have her stand back up. And now I'm gonna have her go backwards, which it should shorten. And it is now at about 21, which it was kind of hard to see at that. Now I'm going to do passive range of motion. So I'm going to have my patient lay down on her back. So I'm going to have her in a hook lying position, so her knee is going to be flexed. And I'm going to, for flexion, I'm going to have one hand under here, and one hand should be under her legs to lift her up off the table. So I'm going to lift her up like that. And then while I'm here, I'm going to do rotation. So I'm going to have her bring her legs, or I'm going to bring her legs to the side and the other side. Oh. And then I'm going to have her on her stomach for extension. So I'm going to try not to choke her out, and I'm going to bring her up like that. Now I'm going to do manual muscle testing, but while she's here, I'm going to have her resist up against my hand. So you're gonna push up as far as you can go. And now I'm gonna have you on your stomach, or on your back. For flexion, I'm going to have you try and push up. And then both the extension and now this would both be 5 out of 5. So now I'm gonna have you try and bring your shoulder to your opposite hip. For rotation, that'd be 5 out of 5. Then I'd have you do the same thing. That'd be good, 5 out of 5. Now I'm gonna move on to special tests. So the first one I'm gonna do is the spring test. I'm gonna have you on your stomach. And I'm gonna be pushing down over the spinous processes, and they should have some give, but if they don't have give or there's pain, that could indicate hypomobility or the sprain of the facet joint. Now I'm going to have you stand or sit at the edge of the table. And I am going to have you make a fist, take a deep breath, and blow out into that fist. And that was Valsalva's. Now I'm going to have you lay down. Oh shoot. Also, if there is pain with that, then that could indicate possible herniated disc. Now I'm going to have you lay down on your back. And I'm going to have you extend. I'm going to have you try and lift your legs off of the table for 30 seconds. If there was pain with that, or you couldn't lift your legs, that would indicate also a possible herniated disc. Now I'm going to do this to you. Your feet, this is Hoover's, and I'm going to have you lift one up. And if I don't feel her pressing down with the leg that she didn't lift up, then that's possible malingering. It means that she was faking it. The next one I'm going to do is the straight leg test. And if this was her affected leg, I'd internally rotate and adduct, and then I'd go until she had pain.
Oh.
And then I would back down a little bit until she didn't have pain.
Feels better.
And then I'd dorsiflex her foot.
Ow.
And if the pain returned on that, then that could indicate sciatic nerve irritation. Next I'm going to do is well straight leg test, and I'm going to lift the unaffected side. So if that was her affected side, this would be the unaffected. And I'd go, and if she had pain on her affected side, that could indicate a possible herniated disc. The next one I'm going to do is bowstring test. So for this one, I'm going to raise her leg until there's pain, and then I'm going to flex her knee until there's not pain.
Feels better.
And then I'm going to press on the popliteal fossa, and if there's pain with that, that could indicate also sciatic nerve irritation. Now I'm going to do Koenig-Brzezinski's test. So I'm going to have my patient interlock her hands behind her head, and I'm going to have her bring her chin up a little bit. And now I'm going to have her lift one of her legs. And if there's pain with that, then I'd have her flex her knee a little bit. And if the pain releases, then that could indicate possible nerve root impingement or dural or meningeal irritation. The next one I'm going to do is I'm going to have her stand up. And I'm going to have her on one leg for stork standing, and I'm going to have her hyperextend her back. So she'd go backwards. And if there's pain with that, that could indicate a pars interarticular fracture. Now I'm going to have her, I'd press down with both of my hands, but since I'm recording, I can't really do that. And so I'd press down, I'd have her extend, then have her side bend, and then I'd have her rotate. And if there was radiating pain, that could indicate a possible compression of the intervertebral foramen, which could cause nerve root impingement. If it was local, that could indicate like a facet joint sprain or facet joint pathology. And then if it was over the PSIS area, that could indicate SI joint dysfunction. And now I'm going to move on to myotomes, dermatomes, and reflexes. So I'm going to do dermatomes first. So for L1, it's up in the high groin. So I'd have my patient close their eyes and I ask them sharp or dull, sharp or dull. Then I move down to low groin. So for L2, I'd ask them sharp, dull, sharp 2. Sharp, dull. For L3, I'd have them try and differentiate sharp, dull, sharp, dull. L4 would be over the patella, so sharp, dull, sharp, dull. L5 would be over the tibial area, so sharp, dull, sharp, dull. S1 is the lateral hamstring, so I ask them sharp, dull, sharp, dull. And S2 is the medial hamstring, sharp, dull, sharp, dull. For L1 and L2, the myotome is hip flexion, so to have you bring your leg to the sky. For L3, it is knee extension, so I have you sit off the edge of the table and kick your knee out. For L4, it's ankle dorsiflexion, so have you bring your toes to the sky. You can't see this, but for L5, it would be great toe extension, so she'd extend her great toe, which you could see if she wasn't wearing shoes. For S1, it is ankle plantar flexion, so you'd point your toes down like you're pressing on a gas pedal. And for S2, it's knee flexion, so I'd have you bring your toes to your butt. And now for our reflexes, L1 does not have a reflex, but L2 through L5 is the patellar tendon, so it'd be right in here. Which it's hard to get a reflex, but and then S2 or S1 and S2 would be the Achilles tendon, so it'd be back in here. And that concludes the video.